Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders seeing what's current. I'm gonna try not to get pissed off during this whole broadcast. I really am. This hits at my mind so hard because it is something that I'm very opposed to in terms of the DEA, the FDA, and that combination. Um, I think that um, the arrests of the majority of the nearly 3 dozen people that were involved in the drug ring. Most of them, actually, I think all of them involved with BMF. They should not have been exonerated, but they should not have been arrested. But if they had something to do with violence or fraud, yes, they should have. Like Jabo, um, he was arrested for the fraud against the payment protection plan loans. So I can see him going to jail. Sit his ass down. I can see that. I can understand that. Anyone that's involved with fraud, the initiation of physical force, anything like that, gunplay, knife play, extorting people, things of that nature, go to prison. But selling drugs, no. And that's what I think, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, his mind goes to that as well. He was a low level crack dealer in Jamaica, Queen, the South Side Jamaica, Queens, in New York City, and he definitely had a grasp of what Meech was doing. And he said he admitted himself he didn't want to have anything to do with Meech. He could have reached out to him. They could have had a chapter, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, in New York, opposed to Atlanta, where or Detroit, where Big Meech really started. He started in Detroit, but it branched out into across the country, places like Atlanta. And 50 could have been a part of that, but he didn't want to because he knew he would have issues down the line. And so he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." But he fast forward nearly 2 decades, or close to 2 decades, and you have these highly popular television shows that 50 has produced. He's produced the Power series, the Ghost series. He's produced the current what I'm talking about right now, the BMF project. I had a like, and then I lost it, and then I gained it back. Oh my god! Okay, all right. So y'all being really funny. I'm just trying to get this money. I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but it happens. But 50, 50 is all about that paper. He is a hustler. He is about that cake. And if he's not going to get it in music, he's going to get it in TV and movies. Remember Wankster? Me, I'm no actor, but it's me you see on the TV because I hustle, baby. I'm not going to say any much more because I get a copyright strike. But he hustles. He knows when to do it. He may not be on the front of the screen or on the in the forefront, but he'll be behind the scenes, directing where the characters go, finding new talent, showcasing new ways to develop storylines for the screenplay. That's all 50. That's 50's business. That's what he's about. That's his whole charge. That's what he's, definitely astute and being in business. He's very focused on that. That's part of his whole agenda. And I'm just curious, who's the one person in the room who put up a like, not saying anything in the chat? You're the only one here that I can see part of YouTube. I don't have thousands of viewers or subscribers or millions of subscribers or and tens of thousands of viewers. So just let me know who you are. Just let me know. You came in, you put up a like. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to get to $80. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to $80. Can I do it? Can we see $80 in a day? Can we have that going on? But anyway, 50's that guy. He knows how to get business done. He's a troll. He is one of the best trolls of all time in the business. He will troll you. He'll troll you for buying the wrong car, a high-end sports car worth over $1 million, but he'll troll you for it because it's past due, it's discontinued. I'm talking about what's his goddamn name? French Montana. French Montana bought a Bugatti, but it was made in like 2010 or something like that. So 50 Cent like trolled him like last year or a year before. He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy, but he's just doing it out of fun because he's having a good time. You know, he's rejoicing at the fact that he's alive. He got shot 9 times. I mean, come on. And he still has a mind about him. He still has, somewhat of a voice. He still is able to, choose and pick what he wants to do in life. I mean, his net worth is probably not, accurate according to these vlogs and blogs. He may have more, he may have less, but I think he has, a good standing on how much money he has and how much he makes. And I see 2 people in here, so 2 people gotta say something. Say hi. Just wave your hand. Do emoji if you must. I hate emojis for the most part, but just wave your hand, whoever you are. There's 2 of you somewhere in here, but yeah, 50's that guy. He's all about that paper. Talking about that paperboard. Paper. Now there's 4 people in here. Now there's 1 person's gotta be in the chat. One of y'all be in the chat saying hi, and donating at least $10 to this machine. Somebody. I'm accepting 20s and 10s and 20s. Wow. So, for all 50 is worth, he may not be, heavy in the music industry as much, even though I think he just wrapped up his last tour that he was gonna do. He's part of the music business in that realm, but he's focused on TV. And I guess he could probably make more movies, but he's definitely doubling down on STARZ, on the BMF Saga, and this just got the wheels turning. This arrest of the 34 people that were connected to the BMF in St. Louis. It's all over this country, probably the globe. I'm sure. And BMF is probably somewhere in Egypt or somewhere in Lebanon or in Switzerland, probably. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Don't hold me to that. I didn't do any research on that. But I'm just saying how he probably had in his mind that he would branch out and be a factor, because 50 Cent is relevant and a factor. Not a lot of people can achieve both statuses, but he's relevant. He's in the news. People are marking down his whereabouts and what he's doing. He's moving, breaking, and shaking, and he's doing the damn thing. He's definitely somebody that is focused on getting a bag, and that's what everybody's focus is on me. It's my focus right now. I'm trying to get a bag. Either right now with people with donations or in the rebroadcast, which adds to my ability to get another bag. That's what this country was built upon, to trick off and get a bag. Now, they had feudalism under slavery, not capitalism. Don't get it confused. It was not capitalism. You don't have the right to own other people as property. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is the social system of justice that says that the government should protect individual rights and property rights. That's totally against what slavery is. That's the total opposite of slavery. It was feudalism, a very brutal, vicious form of feudalism that was worse than serfdom. But anyway, that's getting somewhere else. 50. 50 knows exactly what he's doing. He's a very I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean in a strong way as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. He's very particular about what he does and what he can do. Has his finger upon the pulse of the nation, and he obviously had a great understanding of what happens with the BMF because they're in the news again, and he's gearing up for season 3 of BMF. That's where he's taking it. That's how far he's taking it. That's the power, no pun intended, that he has over the populace, over the people that have put him in charge to be a producer. He has a producer credit for more TV shows than most would ever even dream of. Like I said before, Ghost series, the Power series, and the BMF. 50 has his hand on all of those. And plus, he's been in movies. He lost weight before. He lost like 100 pounds or something like that to be in a movie about an African, I think it was. He's not playing around. He wants that guap. But in order to get guap, in order to get money, in order to get cash, you got to be prepared. You got to have everything ready. You got to have your weight up. I had my weight up. I had to watch videos. I had to research articles. I had to research audio, all about this to prepare for this show. And it's a sad shame that we still have, on the books, drugs as something that is detrimental to the people at large. That's what BMF was about, really, selling drugs. Big Meat should be freed. He didn't commit fraud, and he had no ties, from what I understand, to violence, to initiation of physical force. He just sold drugs. You can look it up. I'll look it up right now. Big Meat. Conviction: continuing criminal enterprise, drug trafficking, money laundering. And what is that? Putting money into legitimate businesses from what should be already legitimate. Demetrius Flannery, born on my birthday, 20 years prior. I didn't even realize that. He was born on June 21st, 1968. See, hustlers know how to hustle. We know what it is. We were born on the same day. Not the same date, but the same day. June 21st. He was born in 1968. I was born in 1988. Go figure. But I mean, that's just disgusting. Like I said, continuing criminal enterprise, drug trafficking. Okay. How many people were murdered and strangled to death or set on fire or put over a bridge? If he had anything to do with that, I could see him going to jail. Okay, sure. Go to prison for that. For life. Yeah. For doing that. Or for death. For causing someone else's death. Money laundering. What are you doing when you money launder? You're trying to put money from one place to a legitimate business. Essentially. Here's the definition of money laundering. Money laundering, according to Wikipedia, is the process of illegally concealing the origin of money obtained from illicit activities such as drug trafficking, corruption, embezzlement, or gambling by converting it into a legitimate source. So that should almost be commended. That should almost be something that you should be, you should have some kind of award for, because you're trying to get away from, what should automatically be legalized, but it's not. And so you're trying to do something that's, good for yourself. You have to be selfish in this. And then, like, to do a legitimate business, you got to run it like a legitimate business. Sadly, we have a taxation. Sadly, we have licensing laws. Sadly, we have minimum wage laws. So you would have to abide by those. And that's the way we have right now. That's the sad part about all this. is that we have people like Big Meech that who's sitting in prison right now and has been for 14 years. I mean, that's just disgusting. He should have been exonerated from the jump, unless he has those ties. That doesn't show. It doesn't say murder, rape, doesn't say fraud, doesn't say anything that you should get you in prison. It says drug trafficking, money laundering. That should be an issue. Like that should be something that's wrong. Like that should be something that should weigh you down, can drag you into a case, because you wanted to make sure the money that you were making off of something that should be already legal is going to be put into something that is legal and legitimate. How disgusting our criminal system is right now. It is just appalling. It is abhorrent. I hate it. It is disgusting. We have hundreds of thousands, maybe, close to 1 million, maybe, I don't know, of people, who are in prison who should not be in prison because of drugs. They call them the big four: uh, fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin. Those are the big four drugs that they want to get off the streets. For what? And get out of people's houses, I guess. They're just on the street. People want to bang heroin between their toes in their dining room or in their den. That's their business. What business is it of the government to tell you you can't use this kind of drug for what? There's no reason. There is none. There's no legitimate reason that somebody can't snort cocaine off a stripper's ass in their basement while they're watching, the nightly news. There should be no reason why that can't happen. Somebody want to take methamphetamines and run laps around their backyard, or in a place of business, they want to go up the stairs. That's their business. Somebody wants to what is it? I said heroin, coke, methamphetamine, heroin, all of them, all put together. Should be able to do them without question, without people recourse, without any kind of intervention. And that's the thing with the DEA. That's what's so evil about the DEA. And I'm for the DEA right now. Don't get it twisted. It's a conundrum and a paradox. It's weird because I'm for the DEA as it stands right now, as it exists. I'm against the DEA on levels and principle, but I would agree with them against, especially people that are associated with the drug game, and those that attempt to or have made the idea to create a whole business based on drugs. They should be commended, really. They should have every opportunity to say who they are and what they are about through the drug system. We should be able to do that. And I can say I'm definitely fully against the FDA. The FDA is completely corrupt. The DEA is only partially corrupt because they're just, doing, what was dreamed up, I think, during the Nixon administration, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the war on drugs. We had to have a war on everything like cancer, war on poverty, war on anything, except, irrationality or unreason or altruism. They don't have wars on altruism too much. That's not waged. That should be a major war on altruism, the detriment to yourself to help others. Not to help others, but to degrade and deny and denigrate yourself. That's what altruism is. So it's not, don't get it confused with being helpful or kind or courteous or gratuitous or generous. That's not what that is. So when you have people in the streets, in the gangs, in different things like that, that's totally different. They're doing violence, they're doing crimes that are actual criminal, activities, not selling drugs, not selling coke and heroin and methamphetamines and different things like that. It's totally different. It's totally different. So I'm saying for, fentanyl, that's what it is. Yeah, if you want to do fentanyl, let you do fentanyl. Yeah, you could probably die. You can go out like Prince. Go out just like Prince. Get high on fentanyl, overdose, and you're out of here. Okay. That's your decision though. Don't do fentanyl. It's how hard is that? You don't have a proper control of your own mind if you're a 17 or 18-year-old on up. I'm not saying for kids. Anyone 17-year-old underneath should have nothing to do with drugs. Now that's gonna be wishy-washy and weird and kind of strange, and people are gonna be like saying, "Yeah, I started doing fentanyl when I was 9." I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have that," but selling it should be completely tax-free for the seller and taxable to the buyer. It should be taxed by consumption, not income. So if you're a drug dealer, you should be able to sell drugs and be able to make a profit and allow yourself to be, one of the best in the game. That's what should happen. Who is this one person in here? Somebody show yourself in the live chat. I got no cash apps. I got no PayPal's. What's going on? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm dry right now. I need to get this money flowing. We need to have a monsoon of cash coming my way. Yeah, it's all emotions. It's all emotion. It's all emotion. That's the reason why 50 Cent, I think, made those shows, because he knows it's based off of emotion. The reason why the police force, the FBI, all the law enforcement agencies, while they should be focused on terrorist activity, terrorism, tactic, war, an act of war, a tactic of war. No, they're worried about drug trafficking, and then they try to drag in, oh well, the drug trafficking fuels the terrorism. Bullshit, bullshit. If there were no terrorists, if there were no organizations that were, if there were no drug trafficking organizations that were cause for concern criminally, then there would be no terrorists. If who would, like, what would be, who would be fueling Walmart? Walmart's a legitimate business, a huge multi-billion-dollar business, and so should drug businesses. All right, somebody be in here. Are y'all playing around? I got 3 people in the viewership. Who's in here? Somebody say something in the live chat. Somebody say something. Good gravy. Y'all are getting scared. Y'all shy? What's going on? Somebody at least troll. Dad gone. All right, so God damn it, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, with if all the businesses were legitimized that are drug trafficking, then there wouldn't be an issue about ties to different terrorist organizations. They wouldn't be getting their money from drugs. They're getting their money from drug organizations only because they're illegitimate. They're not made real. They're not authentic. They're shady. They're in the black market. So you have people like in the heroin business funding the Taliban, funding different things like that. I think they funded Al Qaeda at one point. That's because they're shady underground organizations. Bring them into the light. Sunlight is the best source of clarity. Light is the greatest source of purification. Fire is the purification. No, but we get so hung up. Oh, but people get sick and oh they overdose and oh they gotta go to rehab and oh they gotta hem and haw instead of looking at the real picture. Just like prohibition, we experimented. We said, wait a minute, we can't have alcohol. And the world laughed. Why? France and Italy, they're like, what? USA can't have what? They can't have wine? Germany looking at us like, what? They can't have beer? What? Japan's looking at us like, what? They can't have sake? Mexico's looking at us like, they can't have tequila? Ireland, goddamn. They were on the floor. They were on the floor laughing their asses off. America can't have what? America can't have alcohol? And what did it produce? Bugsy Siegel, Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, and a whole host of other Babyface Nelson, and a whole host of other criminals, actual criminals, who committed serious and real fraud and crimes, like the initiation of physical force, murder, rape, and other disgusting acts. And it was the highest point for policemen to be killed. Highest point in history in America. Highest point was prohibition. You can see on the graph. I'm not making this up. Just look up police during prohibition, police deaths during prohibition. You'll see a spike, a huge spike of deaths, because they're outlawing something that adults should be able to imbibe or should be able to intake. They should have the right to do it. They should have every right to be able to take whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting another human being or animals or anything like that. Or for that case, I mean, that's a social thing. That's not a criminal thing, hurting animals. You shouldn't be able to hurt animals, just wantonly. If you're cooking them for food, that's something different. If you're, that's about it. If you're cooking them for food, that's different than, just, slamming a baseball bat against a cat's forehead. That's a completely debased and ugly act. But it shouldn't be outlawed. Shouldn't be a crime. It should be like social ostracization. You won't deal with that person. You don't have any business to do with that person. You just let them be an outcast in society and not accept them in any of your businesses. But I digress. The drugs. It's the saddest thing in the world. Millions of lives. I can say millions of lives upended because of the drug trade. Because we are too emotional. Because we're not using our minds. Because we're not using reason to think, to understand the truth, the reality behind it. To understand the truth behind the fact that 17-year-old on up should be able to do whatever the hell they want, as long as they're not hurting another person and they're not committing fraud or not doing anything like that. Do whatever harm they want to do to their own bodies. And you say, oh, well, that's somebody's son, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's mother, that's someone's father. Okay, but they made the decision, didn't they? They didn't think about their mother, father, sister, son, daughter at the same time. They want to get high, and they should be able to get high. The big four. Like I said, the DEA as it stands today, just like I have to respect, I would have respected the prohibition of alcohol. We have a prohibition now. We should call it Prohibition 2.0. That's exactly what it is. It's Prohibition 2.0. It's all about making money for the government, really. And it's weird how the government seems to be broke, but they're making a lot of money off of these arrests. They're making a lot of money off of these prisons that they're building. Even though they're private, they still have government ties because the government prosecutes, actually. The government fulfills those roles. It's just a shame. It's real sad because we should be making money. I'm telling you, I'll get to this later in the show, but we're making money, hand over fist. You just be able to sell, set up a crack stand right in front of your house. Who wants crack? We got crack. That's what you should be yelling. We got crack. So many people don't keep running. Come run like the ice cream truck. And have people have stems. You have everything for sale. Have the stems for sale. Have the crack rocks for sale. Have the wet wipes for sale when they go to the bathroom, because that's a stimulant and it's a diuretic. Makes you go. Crack cocaine. And that's from my time period. From like the mid 80s to the early 2000s, that was the drug du jour, the drug of the day. Now we got the big four: fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin. And cocaine and heroin, of course, have been a main staple for centuries, and especially decades now. But like I said, look, what drugs are you taking? That's my sub topic. What drugs do you take? I thought I was gonna have somebody in the chat room. We're gonna chat it back and forth what kind of drugs they're taking. But I'll tell you right now what drugs I take for my brain, for my bipolar: olanzapine, lithium, and clonazepam. Those are the three specifically made for bipolar disorder. I also take trazodone for sleep. I also take montelukast for breathing, diphenhydramine for breathing as well, omeprazole for heartburn, and I take supplements like zinc for my immune system boost. Those are the drugs I take. What drugs do you take? Put them in the comment section. If you want to troll and say, you take crack cocaine or you bang heroin up the ass or something like that, go ahead. Fine. I'll take it. Sure. But I'm just telling you, I'm just being level with you. And there was a moment in my history where I'm glad I didn't go with it, but I strongly considered, bagging up the work, bagging up my drugs. I don't pay for them. They're through the government. So it was especially something that I had to consider. So I was thinking about, emptying the drugs out, cooking them up on the stove, put them in, baggies, and sending them out to the block. I was really about to do that. But then I was like, that'd be dumb as hell. See, there's a thing. This is stupid. Like, I should be able to do it. Like, this is the reason why I have a problem with the DEA, but I'm for the DEA right now. This should be completely dismantled and evaporate across the government spectrum. It should completely disappear. But I'm for them for the initiation of physical force associated with drugs, not with drugs themselves, but catching those who are murderers, who are fraudsters, who are rapists, who are people that are involved, who happen to be involved with drugs, but do heinous crimes. All right, so I was thinking, I can sell this. I'm getting it'd be complete markup for me. It'd be complete profit. I don't have to pay for a plug. The plug is free. I just bag it up and sell it. And then I'll go to jail. I'll go to prison, government prison for a decade or decades for selling, government property. Really, it's government property, and it just wouldn't make sense. It was pretty stupid to even conceive that. But I really, for a moment, thought, you know what? I can really sell this. Thankfully I had a better head, pause. I had better thoughts. I had better reasoning. I had better ideas. And I didn't do it. Obviously, I wouldn't be here if I did. I would have been caught. I've been caught in the system. But you just name it. You name your favorite rapper. Pusha T, Jay-Z, Biggie, so many. No Mouse of the Clips, Jadakiss, Styles P. Names go on and on. Fabulous. Almost everybody has sold crack, sold in some way or form. Even for a day. People like Mr. Troy Star Terrain sold crack for like a day. Then the policeman kicked him in the ass and said, "Get out of here, kid." And like he got off real easy. And Dame Dash sold crack for like 3 days, and that was it. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, P. Papa Diddy Pop, whatever you want to call him. He sold crack for a little while. Then he's like, you know what? This isn't me. Let me go to Howard, get my education, and get in this music business. And like I said before, you gotta respect those that are at least doing legitimate work. Big Meech, free Big Meech. I'm for free Big Meech. Unless they can find dirt on him, say he was connected to this murder, he was connected to this fraud case. He definitely played a hand in this missing child death. Then he can stay his ass in prison. But from what I'm seeing, drug trafficking and money laundering are completely different things than murdering someone. Big Elvis the Chef. Finally, somebody in here. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. As you can see, I have a limit. I have to raise this money, man. I'll do $10 from you. That'd be beautiful. All you got to do is $10. That's all I'm asking for. All I'm asking. Currently accepting 10s and 20s. So Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, if you could just drop in my Cash App, that'd be beautiful. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much for your support. Because you've already supported in the past. I appreciate that. But now I'm asking you once again. I'm coming after your pockets, sir. But I'm just talking about drugs. I'm talking about how much it pisses me off that I live in a time where drugs aren't completely legal for 17 and up, where drugs are completely seen as evil when it's an inanimate object, where the evil comes in at people that want to murder and cause fraud or rape or do disgusting acts. That's where we should draw the line, not with drugs. Drugs haven't hurt anybody, literally. Drugs hurt nobody. People hurt other people, or people hurt themselves with drugs. But it's not the drug's fault. You can't blame the drug, just like you can't blame the shooter, the gun for the gunman or the shooter. That's not the the gun's fault. It's the shooter. You never blame the tool. You never blame the agent. You never blame the substance. So all I'm asking is that you just reconsider if you haven't already thought about what it is to think about drugs. Big Elvis Chef Rosenberg, are you on any drugs right now, sir? Do you take any recreational drugs or medicinal drugs or anything like that? What are you on, sir? I don't know if you went in or out or not, but I'm just seeing if you are. Um, but I just think it's a shame. I think it's a terrible mistake that the government has perpetrated against Americans, especially. While they laughed at us in prohibition, few people are laughing now, and because the world has put a cease on drugs. Even though alcohol is technically a drug, it's not the same thing as the substances I've named, like the big four: fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine. They're different for some reason. Can cause just as much damage, can be just as deleterious as alcohol, and alcohol can be just as deleterious as them. But we hold it to a different standard. There's commercials for alcohol. They don't even have commercials for cigarettes. It's ironic in a lot of ways. It's like you can have cigarettes at programs that like rehab and everything like that. You can have cigarettes all day. That's fine. But alcohol you cannot have, obviously, because of it's different way. I understand it's the context. It's like driving. You can't obviously have a Kettle One in one hand and have your hand on the wheel on the other, and not expect it. It's taking swigs of it and not expect to be pulled over by the police because you're swerving. I get that. I get the context, but what I'm saying is, it's like, why can't we have an understanding of what we truly are and what we're about? We should be about drugs. That should be the fabric of this country. It already has been. We just don't like to talk about it. We don't like to, we like to hush up and, oh, well, at least he's in jail now. Good, good, good. We got him out of here. That's what people want you to say. That's the sad part about all of this. People are dead or in jail over somebody, finding that a drug is horrible, abominable, disgusting, disturbing. A judge saying that, but it's not the judge; it's the legislators. They're just adjudicating. It's the legislation. It's the Congress. Congress is in business with the drugs, and it's like drug companies. It's like if they took out the element of legality or illegality, it wouldn't be a problem. Does Pfizer have beef with Moderna? Like, do they have soldiers out in the street with M16s or AR-15s and 4.5s and Uzis and stuff like that, running up in the offices, saying like, you can't have this. You're not going to do come on our turf, for the vaccine or anything like that. Does GSK, GlaxoSmithKline have beef with what is it? AstraZeneca? Took me a while there, but I got it. But no, these are legitimate drug businesses. These are legitimate drug holdings. Multi-billion-dollar companies. Why can't BMF be a multi-billion-dollar company and sell cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl? That's all I'm asking. Why can't that be? Why can't that happen? It's obviously a product people want. And I read a few months ago, I can't remember where I read it. I might have to look it up again. But cocaine is at its strongest. or it's at its highest level of production. This is from March. CNBC report. If I can just get to this, hold on. God damn it. Okay, it says, and I quote from the article by Natasha Turek: increased cocoa bush cultivation and improvement in the conversion process from oak cocoa plant to cocaine has helped production boom. Despite continued efforts by law enforcement to crack down on cocaine use, global demand for the drug has only grown. I'm going to say that again. Despite continued efforts by law enforcement to crack down on cocaine use, global demand for the drug has only grown. That means that there are more people who want more cocaine, and how in the hell do you even have the gall, the nerve to say that cocaine should be continue to be illegal on these streets when there's a completely worldwide want for the drug? Let it be free. There should be commercials about it. There should be people going, I wake up every day with my cocaine. Like, there should be commercials like coffee. How do we get coffee? I'm surprised they haven't banned that. Could you imagine if they banned coffee and cigarettes, nicotine and caffeine? Could you imagine? Just imagine that one day you wake up in America and you can't go to Starbucks, and you can't go to get your Winston Salem's or your Newports or your Salem Lights. Just imagine that. How much that would cause World War III. Then we would definitely be launched in civil war and World War III across the globe. It would start with a civil war in America, and then it would just spill out all across the earth. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's just disturbing. I can't say any other words other than that. Millions of lives, millions of people. People still want it. It's a whole global demand. It's become a better process. They're learning how to do even better with it than they had in the past decades. So why isn't it legal? Give me a proper, honest, rational reason why it's not legal. Let me know. Let me just understand why it's not legal yet. Why isn't it legal? Why isn't heroin legal? Why isn't fentanyl legal? Why isn't methamphetamine legal? Why is the government a big nanny saying, no, 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 don't snort that, don't smoke that, don't eat that, don't drink that, don't do this, don't do that? There's a deeper understanding to it. They don't care about you. They really don't. The government doesn't really care about your ass. Doesn't really care. Could care less. As a private individual, you are against the government in their eyes. Because you should be thinking, you should be rational, you should be able to guide your own decisions and have your own life. The government should only be there to protect individual rights, not to trample over them. I'm going to say that again. The government should be there to protect individual rights, not to trample over them, as we have seen with drugs, as we have seen with so many things like alcohol. And we're in Prohibition 2.0. And we've been there for a long time. And there's a weird and completely spaced out history of different drugs, because they use them in some circumstances, and they said there was, okay, that's permissible, and then something happened, and they're like, oh, we can't do that. We gotta stop that. We gotta put an end to that. People are having too much fun. People are having a good time with that. And not everybody goes to rehab. Some people, like Mr. Troy Star Terrain says, The body just gets sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you just stop. And that's the thing too. Just have more education. That's another problem we have already with education. Government should get the hell out of education. Private institutions should be able to say, look, you do this drug, you sell this drug, it could be some problems. You could have some issues because if somebody dies, they're going to want to sue you. They're going to want to say this. They're going to say that. No, they don't even do suits anymore. I mean, suits. It's not even suits yet. It's criminal. If somebody dies from the fentanyl or methamphetamine or cocaine or heroin that you sold, you could go to prison for not just for selling it, but because the person died. It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. It's a complete backward way of thinking. It's disgusting. That's all I can say. That's the word that comes to my mind. How we let all these people, you talking about, drug dealers. I mean, there's so many to even name then. But I'm talking about, what 50 was thinking. He has got the wheels spinning for this spinoff. Didn't mean to make a pun there, but he had this idea for a spinoff for making the BMF story, further down the line, or making a current day kind of issue. I mean, you have excellent television programs about drug dealing and the drug game. Breaking Bad, The Wire, excellent TV. Some of the best written television series of all time. They play out like novels, and they're short. They're only I think each one is 5 seasons. They didn't take a long time to tell the story, but one was mostly about heroin, The Wire, and sometimes I think crack cocaine, but not as much. It was more so much about heroin. And of course, Breaking Bad was pretty much predominantly all about methamphetamine, crystal meth. So if we can allow that into our homes and digest that and understand, the game needs to change. It needs to be legitimized. You should be able. Chris Rock had that joke. He said, it's better. If you want to be, if you're black, especially, and you're in there, and then you want to make money, make sure it's something positive. He was like, if cigarettes was made by a bunch of greasy Jerry curl headed niggas in North Carolina, it'd be the most illegal substance on the planet. And there's some truth to that. That's some truth. But it's the same thing with drugs. He said, he kept going. He said, there shouldn't just be, Starbucks. There should be Weebucks. It shouldn't be McDonald's. It should be McCocos. We should have that legal. See how much crime drops. See how much of that actually stops. And the best part, more money, private rehabilitation centers. Private rehab. All pop up around the country. Pop up all around the country. All around the world. Rehabilitation centers. People come in, they're in pajamas. You got to go to the day room. You got to, go to your weight chart, see how much you weigh. You tell about your day and stuff like that. I know what it's like. I know I've been in psychiatric wards are almost the same as rehab centers. I know what that whole game is like. But if it was privatized instead of by the government, that's multi-billion-dollar business right there. They'll be popping up all over the place for people that are that are hooked on crack, hooked on methamphetamines, fentanyl, heroin. And they'll be able to do that. That will be able to happen. But it won't be able to happen if we don't have our own minds together first. Because it's nice to say, oh, well, Government's got to legislate. As Americans, as human beings, we have to have rationality, individualism, and capitalism in the forefront. On the forefront. We have to have that. We can't let that slip. We have to continue to be within that realm of thought. The fact that we have so much to do and a long ways to go only shows that we are enabled to be our own persons, our own individual lives. We should be able to take the reins over our own lives and say, hey, you know what? Cocaine looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Looks like it'll be a great time for right now. I think 5, 10, 20 years from now, probably won't be such a good time. I'm not going to do cocaine. And you don't do it. And then the business stops. And then they have to switch to another hustle. Oh, well, methamphetamine. Oh, methamphetamine 5, 10 years down the line. Oh, fentanyl. Oh, 5, 10 years. And it'll go on and on and on until they'll be like, drugs are legal, but who's using them? It won't even be a thing. But apparently there's a thirst for it. There's a hunger for it. People have to fill that need. Sadly, that's what we have to do. Sadly, we don't have the right amount of people in Congress and legislation and things of that nature, the lawmakers, to really crack down on the real crimes, forced fraud, and anything else of that nature. Like I said, they're so worried about all the drug trafficking and everything like that and saying that, oh, well, it's tied to terrorism and stuff like that. Bullshit. More bullshit. Come on. They say that to justify the fact that they're continuing to go on with this business of drugs when they should be legalized. All drugs. Legalized, decriminalized, everything. Just completely, just like iPhone. BMF should be like Apple. Their product, crack, coke, fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin. Just like an iPhone, iPad, iMac, Apple Music, Apple Watch. It's the same. It should be the same exact thing. Now we got 4 people in here. I hope you're looking at my screen. Currently accepting 10s and 20s. I appreciate it. Thank you if you can. If you can't, get the hell out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I have you along for the ride. But I am accepting 10s and 20s. I'm trying to get to $80 today. I've raised 0 of $80 already. And I'm trying to get to at least $10. Just to say I made a little bit of money today. Just to say I made just that much. Just that much. I would appreciate it tremendously. But these drugs, man, I mean, hey. If I gotta take them, no, but I shouldn't say you have to take them, but I'm on them. And I was gonna sell them. I seriously was. I was thinking about it. I went through like a whole week just saying, damn it, if I could just sell these if I could just sell them, it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a hassle, it would be a hustle. That's all it would be. It would be something that I could, celebrate. Get money. Somebody wants something. I'm giving it to them. I don't have to pay for the plug. I don't have to pay a percentage. It's not on consignment or anything like that. It's just completely free drugs that I have. To me, because I'm a veteran. And I could just I could put them up and put them in little baggies, put them out to the street, get money. Simple as that. It could be, upgraded. It could be on Cash App and PayPal. They do paper money. You can scan it and it reads it as paper money. That's how far we've come. I didn't have that back in the day, back in when I was thinking back in the day, but back in 2012, I wasn't even thinking about that. I knew about PayPal, but I don't even know if Cash App even around. No, not even in 2012. It started in October 15th, 2013. So that's pretty big. Who is in this live chat? Okay, now one person. All right, so we got one person in the live chat. That's fine. I have to wonder. See, that's why I don't like weekends. Weekends are goofy. Everybody's out. Everybody's doing something. Not worrying about anybody. You're either watching the game. You're not worrying about listening to my dumb ass. So one viewer. That's fine. I'll take that. It's better than 0 viewers. 3 likes. I think it was up to 4 likes. I think I lost a like. I don't know. But yeah. 2012. I was living in a very famous or infamous part of Massachusetts. Not at the time I was living there, but prior. Lowell, Massachusetts. You have to watch a documentary called High on Crack Street. It shows a litany of people, dealing with them, mainly white, if that means anything. It may not have. I may not have to say that, but just to give you context, it's not like it was the black hood. It was like the white hood, and I lived in a kind of rundown apartment, but it was all right for me. It had high ceilings. It was great. I liked it. It was 1 bedroom. I lived with a roommate. He was cool at the time. He smoked weed, cheap mid weed, bad weed, but he smoked it. Same thing with marijuana. That's the thing. You can get cute with marijuana. Oh, marijuana, we get weed, but it's goofy too. It's weird. It's really weird. It's like you have to have the license, and then the dispensary has to have this amount of inspections and this amount of different. It's just a whole mess with that too. Even though they're slowly creeping on an idea of legalizing marijuana, they're far from it. They're not even close to it. They're not even in the ballpark for completely and openly across the board, federally legalizing marijuana. Little state here, little state there, big state here, big state there. Doesn't matter. California to Colorado. You have to have a medicinal license. You have to have, some. Why can't you have a medicinal license for crack? What's the difference? You get high. Maybe a different kind of high. One's a stimulant, the other's a depressant. Still getting high. And again, there should be taxation on the consumption, not the income. Not on income. No. Not on income. Should be about making that money. That's what it should be. That's all it should be. That's what the whole point of this whole thing is. Making a dollar. Dollar is blood. See, it's like your organs and your vital system, and your central nervous system and all that stuff. Like that is important, obviously. That's everything. But money is blood. If you don't have blood, you ain't got nothing. You're not alive. If you don't have money, you're not alive. So I'm saying that drugs should be completely and utterly legal across the board without question, without any kind of saying, well, we should say that only a fraction of the percent the population should have it, or only people that have mitigating circumstances, only people that have different situations. No, anybody 17 years or older should be able to sell drugs and use drugs. How about that? Without the government stepping in and having inspections, or saying you should have a medicinal card, or saying that you have to have so many different ways of using your drug. They'll get rid of the cartels. The cartels in Mexico, they're decapitating people. There'll be no cartels. Why the hell do you think there are the cartels? Because it's illegal. Make it legal, and whoa, wow, that just clarifies everything. That makes it all better. It makes it difficult for real criminals, actually, if you legalize drugs, because they'd have to find a way to actually produce. If they're actually killers like Omar and The Wire, he's not a seller, he's not a dealer. He's just rolling around with a big shotgun and killing a lot of the dealers. So that's one of the key issues. That's how this goes. That's how this whole thing really unfolds. It shows that you can be something that no one else is ready for you to be. No one else is really expecting you to be a drug dealer until you are. And it won't even be the names, pushers or dealers or stuff like that. There'll be people like Doctor, or Mr. or Mrs. Miss. You have those titles. They would be applicable. But we can't have the emotion. That's the only reason why drugs aren't legal, because of emotion. My dad died of an overdose. My sister died of an overdose. My mom died of an overdose. My brother was shot and killed over a crack rock. My sister was shot because of a drive-by. There's no drive-bys for Pfizer. That be the title. I should change the whole title. There's no drive-bys for Pfizer. Pfizer doesn't have drive-bys. Moderna doesn't have drive-bys. AstraZeneca doesn't have drive-bys. GlaxoSmithKline doesn't have drive-bys. Only little Tariq Nettles has drive-bys, and Jerome Jenkins has drive-bys, and Felipe Alvarez has drive-bys, and Rick Morton has drive-bys, and Shelley Bell has drive-bys. Make drugs legitimate. Make them legal. Make them real. Make them something that can be of use to everybody for whatever ails them. If you want to put cocaine in your Coca-Cola for real, and put some cocaine in, put a gram in, and swizzle it around, see what it tastes like with real Coca-Cola. Why not? Why shouldn't somebody be able to do that? Why is that any of the government's business at all? Why is that? Why can't you go to a restaurant and then be on the menu and say, okay, would you like your Coca-Cola with cocaine or not? I'm ready for that day. I'm serious. I really want that day to come. I want you to have the opportunity and the choice to see if you really want cocaine in your drink or not. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that day. I think it will come. Well, I think we're even closer to it than we really imagined. But that's the part that pisses me off. We had 9/11, and Israel had October 7th. I should say 9/11 2001 and October 7th 2023, just to get it on, make sure people understand. But that's what we should worry about, or what we worry about? Are we worrying about little Big Meech selling crack cocaine in the hood, making $250 million off of it? Not himself, but the organization. Or should we be worried about Osama bin Laden and the Saudis and the Iranians who scream death to America? Who should we be worried about? Who should we be more concerned with? Who should we be, fighting against? Where should the fight be? With drug dealers just trying to get money, trying to get paid, trying to get their lights on. Greg ass, you're bum ass. You didn't even salute to you, sir. At least you chimed in. I have two people that chimed in. There's two people. Greg ass, respect. So I'm gonna give you respect. I respect you. Thank you for your trolling. You're not gonna give me any money today. I'm not gonna get paid on YouTube. I'll get paid on Vocal now. Matter of fact, let me do a quick story real quick. Let me do a real quick story. This one's called Billfold. A young man is put on game. Let me see if it even has anything to do with. Okay, it says code is everywhere. Coffee spilled down the mug and made a ring. There was a coaster underneath. Coxley Sadbury finished his cup. He then pulled out a thick billfold. Across the way, a kid no older than 17 named Alvin Corey looked at Sadbury. Hey, mister, I hate to interrupt to be impolite, but where did you get all that money from? I get money from women all over the world simply because of my existence. I didn't pimp them in the traditional sense, and I definitely don't sex traffic. I'm a gentleman of leisure. So women just see you? That's the story. That's the story. I'm gonna talk about that for another day. How you can be pimping without pimping. Like the woman didn't have sex or engage in any sexual problem. Just have a guy or girl, especially a guy though. I'm saying a guy because a guy can only be a pimp. But a guy going around COOs and CEOs and CIOs, CFOs, CTOs, just taking money from them. You can't go to jail for that. That's not what is that? What do they call it? Was it pandering or or sex trafficking or what are the different names they have for pimps that go to jail? Just they won't go to jail. If you just have a woman legitimately who just makes money as an executive and she just sees you as a pimp. What's the harm in that? Nobody's even having sex. She's just doing her job. She's getting $6 million a year, and he gets a percentage. He gets probably $2 million from her. Gets another one makes $12 million a year. He gets $8 million from her. Why can't that be? I would love to see that. I would love to see that in a movie. I would love to see that. That'd be so cool. Because I can't see the obvious and the stupid way of people saying it. Like they say that it's only about women being sex objects and things like that. No, let them be in complete higher positions, getting paid millions of dollars a year, and a pimp just recognizes game and just takes their money. I think that'd be a beautiful setup. I know I'm going off topic from my original thing, but I'll explore this later. I just wanted to say my story. But that's what I think it should be. That's what I think it should be. That's what I think should happen. All of this should occur. A pimp should be able to go to anyone, any woman. There's nothing with pimping. That's nothing with pimping. It's completely legitimate if the woman agrees to it. If she agrees to it, what's the problem? I don't understand. Somebody, I missed that day in school. Something, I don't get it. If she agrees to sell her body, and the pimp agrees, to take in the money, who's getting hurt? I don't understand. Where's the pain? Where's the shock? Where's this disturbing action? But I just elevate the game. I think the game has to elevate. I answer questions now. F it. I got 15% left. How many run-ins with pimps have you had in Delaware? 0. I've had run-ins with pimps in Massachusetts, though. When I lived in Lowell, Massachusetts, I had a few run-ins with pimps. And I think a hoe, but I'm not 100% sure she was a hoe. But yeah, when I was in Massachusetts, I definitely did, but not in Delaware. Never in Delaware. Not for me, but I'm sure there are, and especially in Wilmington. If you look up Wilmington, Delaware, there's 71% of the population is black, and there's shootings all the time. There's all kinds of activity going on, but I just think that's weird. I don't like the idea of pimps going to jail. I don't like the idea of drug dealers going to jail, because mainly it's because of the color of the skin. That's the reason why. It really is. It's a racial issue. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying because as an objective way of seeing it, it's because of black men especially. They made laws. They made the what's it called? I think it's the Hayes Law. Maybe it's not the Hayes Law. I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, they call it pandering. That's true. I was right. Oh my God, where is it? It's Well, either way, it's a law that was made directly after slavery was ended, where men, especially black men, could not traffic white women across state lines. That was a law that was put on the books, as I think may even still stand today, but is not recognized. But it was definitely put on the books right after slavery. So I just say, I'm talking about drugs and pimping, by the way. Well, that sounds like a good law. Now you lost your mind, Greg. Yes, you sound like you're out of your head. You're definitely out of your head on that. But I just think a pimp should be able to roll up to a business in his Bentley or his Lamborghini or something like that, and walk up to or in his muscle car or something like that, and walk up to a woman who makes $20 million a year, and he gets like $14 million out of that, or something like that. That would be cool. I think I would love to see a movie. I really would. If I could produce it right now, I would produce it. I would write it, direct it, and produce it. I'll write, produce, and direct it. So I think that would be really cool, because that would be a thumb pointed at all the people that are against pimping. They said, "What? Well, that's about the same thing." I mean, she's choosing. She has her own way. She has her own business. Really, she does what she does. She's not having sex for money, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. So, Greg, if you have more questions, ask away. I don't have any money today. Nobody's been able to give me any money. I'm looking broke and busted. Broke, busted, and disgusted. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But I had fun. I had a time. I had a good time with this whole drug issue, especially. We'll get back to pimping. We'll get back to the pimping. No cash for the host today? What do you mean no cash for the host today? I don't understand. Explain yourself more. I don't know what you mean. Cash is for the pimp anyway. The pimp gets the cash. Pimp gets the cash. The woman might be able to get the money, but it's not guaranteed. It's not a guarantee. There's a chance that she can get paid. There's a possibility that she might get a little bit of money. So, if there is anything to do with drugs and the geopolitics that go along with it, the reason why, probably, I'm just saying this as a guess. I'm not saying I didn't do any research. I didn't look into it. Okay, here we got a question. Would you be kind like your would you be kind to your hoes or take all their money? I would take all their money and be kind to them. That's how you be kind to a hoe. You make sure you get paid. You get the money. You laugh, but I'm serious. I'm being dead ass. Height. Now, sir, look, I have no money today. I have nothing. I have zero. Big L the chef usually pays me. Height, I know you said the next time or soon, one day, you'll be on one of the 50 club. You'll be number 4. Or you're amongst the 4. So I'm gonna need you to get out. Spec. So height, I'm looking at you, man. I'll take a 5. I will take a 5er. I will seriously take a 5er. If you don't have a 10, I'll take a 5er. But I'm looking for 10s and 20s right now. Looking for all 10s and 20s. What about 50 Cent? 50 Cent I already discussed. I'm about $1. What the is 50 Cent? Who said that? My blue hens have won. I'm following the hens for the camel. That was cute. Well, he holds the water. I guess they call me a camel. It means I survive in a drought. something like that. He said. Oh man, but you're right, Greg S. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, so I was talking about 50 Cent. I was talking about how with the 34 people that were cracked down on, people that were either affiliates of BMF or or completely in BMF. One of them, Jabo, was caught up on a PPP loan fraud scam. There's a whole list of other people that were caught using the big 4: fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin for having ties to distributing those in the street. And my whole argument is legalize everything, legalize the whole thing, everything apart. It doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. Make sure legalize for 17-year-olds and up, and then we'll have a balance of understanding what the government should do. So that's the reason why we have September 11th, not because the drug cartels fuel terrorism and things like that. No. That's like saying Pfizer or AstraZeneca or GlaxoSmithKline or Moderna, funnel money into terrorist organizations. And from my knowledge, they haven't. But if you want to look it up and say, "Oh well, look at this," they actually do have. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. That's a different case for a different day. But I'm looking for at least $10. Somebody want to come up with $10? I know Greg S isn't going to do it. Height, I'm looking at you, sir. Greg hasn't made a donation. You made plenty of donations. I appreciate that. So if you could just hit me in with the PayPal, let me know, because it doesn't give me a name. $10 is greater than $10. I don't understand. It's the same thing. I don't understand, Greg. Greg asks, you're spiraling. You're spiraling. There you go. Digital currency. What are you talking about? I don't understand. There you go. Digital currency. You're not making much sense. You're still spiraling. I don't see any $10 in my account, so I'm not really paying attention to what you're saying. I sent you $10 in the chat. Okay, yeah. So that's cute. That was cute. Sent $10 in the chat. All right, that didn't make much sense, but all right, cute. Whatever, Continue on. Continue to hate. I'm never gonna put you out. I'm never gonna put you on timeout. I'm never gonna ask you to leave or anything like that. Corny, butthurt mess. Oh yeah, you're broke. Yeah, of course you're broke. Yeah, you're using a device or something like that. You're using your, some kind of mobile device or something like that. You have a payment plan. You have some kind of payments. You have bills. You have leftover cash. You have a supply that's still can be tapped. You have a sense of being able to pay for things. You have discretionary income, disposable income, as you want to say. So what? So there's that. Baja Jackson, somebody else. Baja Jackson, you pledge today. I can only say that you are a true and real nigga. Salute. And be the one. Be the one, Baja Jackson. Be the one. I'm looking for $10. Just looking for $10. That's all I'm asking. $10. Be the one. I want to see on my PayPal screen that it lights up. And my watch vibrates. Be the one, Baja Jackson. Yo, what's up? He got a debt with the man. That was funny. That was funny. Never been in debt to a person. I've been in debt to credit cards, things like that. You pledge $11 for when? For when is $11, Baja Jackson? Because I honestly believe you, because you've done it twice already, and just to be the third time. You pledge $11 for when, though? I'm just curious. What time? When are you going to be ready for that $11? When can I expect that? It's just something that I'm just trying to figure it out. 21 minutes. Oh no. All right, so look, 21. I'm not gonna be on here for 21 minutes because I have to go because my battery's about to go. But if you hit my Cash App in 21 minutes, I will salute you, sir. Salute. The Man Act. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Big Officer Chef comes in. The Mann Act, exactly. But I think it's with two N's. The Mann Act. The Mann Act, previously called the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, is a United States federal law passed June 25th, 1910. It is named after Congressman James Robert Mann of Illinois. Yes, thank you, Mr. Big the Chef, well, Mr. Elvis Big the Chef Rosenberg. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. Thank you. Skylar White Saunders. Exactly. Yes. See, I'm about that methamphetamine, but I'm not a bitch. That's the difference. I'm not that white girl. I'm not cocaine. Not like Skylar White. But I'm gonna need that money. I'm doing all out. Oh, Big Elf Chef and Baja Jackson are good. Greg S is not looking too good. But if you guys can, step up and step in, I appreciate it. I would appreciate it. AKA White Denzel. What I can't even think of his name. Rory. Yeah. So you don't deal in the white man's currency. Sorry. Yeah. Nice try, bud. But you do, and you're super capping right now. There's no way you don't even currency. It's not a white man's currency. It's just currency. Especially not in today's money. Money is all about digitized. It's all about the digital money. Give me a second. But yeah, I'm waiting for Baja Jackson. 21 minutes. That's probably down to like 18 minutes now, something like that. But I appreciate that. I've been going on for an hour and 32 minutes now. Having a good time. I was feeling my my agenda, my outline for today. Talking about drugs. It's always a spot to me in my mind that just pisses me off and gets me passionate, because every drug should be legalized across the board, should be used by 17-year-olds and up, and should be produced, distributed, and sold and consumed by 17-year-olds and up. Plug talk, exactly. This is plug talk right now. It's plug talk. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, my guy. You know what? It's not a 10, but I'll take a 20. I'll take a 5. I'll take that 5, and I'm about to run the hell out of here. Why should it be consumed? Why do you think? Because people want it. I just said the CNBC report. There's a higher demand for cocaine than previous years. Don't be mad at ho. That's what you're not going to do. You're not going to disrespect Big Officer Chef for contributing any money if you've never contributed 1 cent. Mr. Greg Ass. Greg Ass, you're about to get the hell out of here. Because I'm about to get the hell out of here. I'm not going to put you in timeout or anything stupid like that. But you need to realize that you haven't contributed anything. And Big Officer Chef has contributed money. He's put up great money. So I don't know what you're talking about. But you need to control yourself and sit in a corner somewhere and keep your hands to yourself. Sit on a potty or something. And Greg is going to talk about hype being broke. Okay, now we really shutting this down. Hey, it's been fun. I had a good time. Greg S is out of his goddamn mind. Hype, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. I know your next pledge is going to be huge. You're going to be one of the big. You're going to be in the big four. Thank you, Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, for your donation. You made a businessman out of me because I try to get at least $5 or more than $1, at least $5 or $10 out of people for every show because I do my research and I do enough reporting that I appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Big Elvis. I'm leaving on Big Elvis. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg says, Greg asks, please stop, bussy boy. So we're going to end it on that. Thank you very much. I probably will see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Monday. Thank you very much. Take care.